Good morning, everyone. I'm back, and today is going to be my last day filming for this series, which I have called #Tarot Grounding Plan. And just wanted to welcome you back if you've been watching the last three videos. I will link them in the description box below. But to sum it all up, this is a practice that I am doing to help me bring into my real life or into my everyday life the learnings that I have in when I'm in therapy. So basically, October has been kind of a shit month, and I have needed to ground and come back to myself and recenter and all that good stuff, and sort of manage my OCD and anxiety driven reactions and behaviors, I guess. So I looked at 9 areas which are part of my grounding plan or my plan to prevent relapsing into these OCD and anxiety driven behaviors. And I am on the last 3 areas. So in total, 9 areas. I started with, what did I start with? Sleep, nutrition, movement. And then yesterday's video was on medication, alone time, socialization. And today are the last 3 areas. So I'm going to talk about those. They are mental stimulation, my cat, and nature and the outdoors. So I'll dive in. And before I do, this is my significator card for this whole practice. It's the life card from the Burning Tiger Tarot, which is an amazing collage deck. And I will link the creator's Instagram as well in the description box below. Okay, let's get into it. So for mental stimulation, I did actually pull a card that I resonated with visually, not necessarily at random, actually not at random, not by the definition of the tarot meaning. I really just wanted to pull a card that visually I was like, that's what I feel when I think of mental stimulation. And I put tarot and different projects because these are the things that keep me stimulated. These are the things that, if I'm going through a tough time, it's really necessary for me to not only get sleep and nutrition and meet my movement quota, I guess, but to really have my mind mentally stimulated so that I don't go down the rabbit hole of like cyclical, intrusive, compulsive thoughts. So I chose the King of Swords, and okay, so the tarot meaning does line up. But I really did choose it simply because of the visual, where this person is surrounded by sculptures, paintings, fashion, weapons, and I just thought these are such cool things to be surrounded by. It's like a museum of hobbies, and he's the master of it all. Now, King of Swords for me is a master of your mental realm. So you can actually bring yourself out of your emotions and just objectively look at your mental realm and just be like, okay, this is what's going on. So I do love that I pulled this card, or I chose this card intentionally to represent my need for mental stimulation. And I did pull a bunch of other cards. So I did pull the World for the King of Swords, the Two of Pentacles, and the Page of Batons or the Page of Wands. So let's talk about this. So the World. When I am going through a tough time, it's usually because there's a massive change. And when change happens, something has to end or something transitions, right? And oftentimes when that change happens, and let's say something has ended, I'm left with this space and I'm left with this desire to go over the situation again and again and again and again and overanalyze and just see if I've done anything wrong. Scenario A to Z. Did I miss anything? And the world is there to sort of tell me, like, no, you just have to make space for something new. And because there is a space there, you have to fill it. Because if you don't fill it with something new, you will just rehash the same thing over and over again. Obviously, when I say you, I mean me. I'm talking to myself. So the world is that reminder that by nourishing myself and finding new things to do, it can really help me distract from the thing that I need to move forward from. And then, of course, there's the Two of Pentacles. Now, this card to me is all about balance in behavior. And there's two things that come to mind. One is balance in using mental stimulation as a distraction and being able to come back to the problem, to heal, to integrate, to have closure. And also having balance in the type of projects and the type of mental stimulation that I involve myself in. For example, I'm the type of person that I want to always dig deep, and I want every reading and every project to be meaningful and filled with purpose, and you know what, that's also exhausting. And then you get disappointed when things don't give you the the purpose or the joy that you were expecting. So I need to have this balance of just like doing shit for fun and then putting it away and then taking on these big projects. And there are some projects where I want to try things out for fun, and I know that I will not finish them, but I just want to try them. I'm never going to be a master at it. I'm never going to be an expert at it. Like, I've signed myself up for a one-time pottery class. I kind of know already that I'm going to suck, but I just want to try it. And I have to have that balance of being okay with doing things just for the stimulation of it, like the mental stimulation of it, and doing things because I actually want to accomplish something. So for me, there's a difference, and I need to balance it with fun and purpose. And then the page of batons are the page of wands. Beginner's mindset. Like, I get very hard on myself when I don't complete something that I have taken on as a project. And again, I need to come into it with this beginner's mindset of I just want to learn. I just want to find something I'm passionate about. And that means trying out things and then realizing, hey, I'm not that passionate about it, but at least I tried. At least it was fun. So, this is kind of the attitude that I want to take when I am taking on new projects or new ways of using tarot and learning with tarot. So, we'll take that. And the next one is really important for me. This is focusing on my cat. I have a cat. If you follow me on Instagram, I have an Instagram for her, but I also post her a lot in my tarot account. Like, I love her. She's my emotional support animal. I got her during the pandemic and on the advice of my therapist. So this is the only card in the entire deck, I think, that features a cat, so that's why I chose it. And then I see that it's the Four of Pentacles. My cat's name is Angel, by the way. She came to me with that name. There's nothing wrong with that, but I did not expect to be part of like an Angie and Angel thing. But I kept her name. I think it really suits her in an ironic way. If you know, you know. But anyway, the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles to me is all about establishing boundaries with my energy and taking time for myself. And my cat is a prime example of just having excellent boundaries. I think most cats do. But she definitely is like, I will come to you when I need something. And I would really like for you to be on your own when I don't need something from you. And I remember my therapist at the time, it was a different therapist, had said, you know, cats can teach you about boundaries. You know, they will let you know when they need something, and they'll let you know when they want to be alone, and they'll let you know if they want to be with you. And she has been, she really is the love of my life. And an emotional support animal, like, I don't think there are still a lot of people that don't get that, that don't understand that it's like an extension of you. It's um, we are each other's emotional support animal. I'm her emotional support human. She's my emotional support animal. She's my child. Like, I gave birth to her. And she is the sweetest thing. And I just love her so much. So I wanted to sort of contemplate or think about what she brings to my life and what this connection brings to my life. So this could be um, someone else for you. This could be time with your partner, time with your children, time with your fur child, whatever, time with, your plants, like whatever it is that you genuinely love. And for me, it's my cat. So I did pull some cards from the tarot about what she brings into my life. The Fool, the Five of Batons or the Five of Wands, and the Eight of Swords. So very intriguing cards. What I feel when I am investing in time with my cat. I feel very much like I am in a no judgment zone. I can be silly, I make silly voices, I dance around, I talk to her in accents, like it is what it is. I get to play, and play is really important for the soul. Also, the Five of Batons or the Five of Wands, this is typically a card that like is about conflict. And when my nervous system is overstimulated and just hyper aware, and there is a conflict within myself or with other people, she is very much a grounding, sort of calming entity in my life where I can go to her and just sniff her soft, like fur, just bury my nose in her soft fur and be like, she smells like sunshine and bread. And it instantly soothes my nervous system. And I know there's a lot of science behind that, but just, reiterating that it is true for me. The Eight of Swords, when I am stuck in my head, and I want to get really personal and vulnerable. There have been times where I've had depressive episodes. I haven't had one in a while, but I got off of my meds last year just to try it out with the supervision of my therapist, and I had a depressive episode for 2 weeks where I did not want to get out of bed. I literally worked from bed and then slept when I didn't have tasks to do. And the only thing that got me out of bed and out of my head was knowing that I had to feed her, knowing that I had to clean her litter box. And those were the basic things. I couldn't bring myself to play as much, but eventually that got me out of bed as well. Like I knew that she needed something from me, and I knew that I couldn't just give up and stay in bed and in my head. So when I need to get out of my head, the very practical thought of like something is depending on me, a living thing is depending on me to function, has really helped me get out of my depressive episodes. So that is making time for my cat. And then finally, our last area that I choose to focus on and nurture or nourish is my connection with nature and the outdoors. So being out in nature, being out, of the city. I live in Metro Manila. It is a busy city. Traffic, billboards everywhere, noise everywhere. I love it, but I also grew up in a really small city in they call it a city. It's like a town, really, in the Philippines, and it was like when I was growing up, there was sugarcane fields outside of like a minute outside of my street. There were water buffalo walking on the roads. Like it's not like that now, but that's how I grew up. Um, my dad would take us all in the car and go an hour outside of the city, and we would be in like virgin beaches, virgin mountains, like untouched places. And we would have all these adventures. And when I want to ground and center and calm, there is nothing like being out in nature. So the card that I picked for this is the Seven of Pentacles. Again, just visually, this gives me very Garden of Eden vibes. Like it's just lush. There's so much greenery. There's so much flowers and plants and just beauty. And I pulled the following cards for this: the Two of Cups, the Star, and the Five of Swords. So, when I want to reconnect with my sense of awe and appreciation of magic in the world, and if there's one thing that I want, like I'm Indian, if I die, like when I die, not if I die, when I die, I'm going to be cremated. That's part of our culture and history and tradition. But if I have an urn or if I have a tombstone of some sort, I would want it to say, or even a eulogy. I know this is getting dark, but like, I wanted to say, she fought to see the magic in the world. That is how I want my life to be. And when I am feeling disconnected and I go out in nature, I regain my sense of awe. So I'm combining the Two of Cups and the Star here. I regain a sense of awe, a sense of hope in the world that I live in. And God knows I need that, because Five of Swords, the world that I live in right now, I mean, it's a cesspool. It's just, there's so many horrible things happening. And I'm going to try not to get emotional, but there's so many horrible things happening in the world that it becomes so difficult. And I say this from the point of view of someone that um, only sees the horrible things in the news, and it's not actually happening to her. And already it's so hard to hold on to hope. Um, and I know that I'm very, uh, how do I even put it? I, I, I know that I don't have half of the world's problems happening to me. So, um, this is not one of those like, oh my God, I'm so blessed. This is not happening to me. There's a sense of just like randomness, right? Like, who chooses the bad shit that happens? It's completely random sometimes, and I feel like it's not fair. Um, but anyway, I will not say more about that because I don't feel qualified to speak on that in this moment. But I know that being out in nature really helps me put things into perspective, helps me have compassion, helps me see magic and awe and beauty in the world, and also drives me to do my part, whether that is reposting, whether that is witnessing something, whether that is donating, whether that is volunteering my time to contribute to other people having the ability to hope in better things. So this is how I see being out in nature and outdoors. It really connects me to God, source, universe, however you want to call it. It makes me realize how small I am, but also how we are all small, but we are all important. And it fosters this sense of community as well. So that is it. I have completed the tarot grounding plan tag for myself that I created. I don't even know. But the last 3 days going through this, just really going through this and focusing on these areas, have helped me really feel grounded, really feel centered, have really helped me come back from a really, really tough fucking week. Like, everything that could happen happened. It was Murphy's Law. And I'm just glad to be crawling out of that space. So, thank you for joining me as always. Thank you for being a witness to this. And as always, take care. Bye.